500 years ago, ships left this shoreline and changed the world forever. Not all of it for the better. This is the story of the country that opened the oceans and what it cost. In Portuguese shipyards, the modern world was built plank by plank, a world of trade, travel, exchange, conquest, wealth, and irreversible loss. The caravel looks modest by the standards of later empires. It wasn't the largest ship in Europe, but it was built for discovery. Shallow enough to ride coastal waters, quick enough to turn against the wind, seaworthy enough to push into oceans that no European hand had charted. With every voyage, Portuguese sailors learned the Atlantic's language, its currents, its storms, its trade winds, its silence. And once they had learned it, they never stopped. Portuguese navigators rounded the southern tip of Africa. They reached India. They crossed to Brazil. In doing so, Portugal did something Europe had rarely done before. It broke beyond its own borders by sea and pulled the entire world into contact with itself. But the same craftsmanship that made wonder possible also made empire possible. The ships that carried explorers into history also carried human beings into bondage. Portugal did not only open the oceans, it built one of history's greatest crimes upon them. The Atlantic slave trade, one of the first, largest, and most consequential systems of forced human trafficking the world had ever seen. The wealth that funded Portugal's golden age was not built only by sailors and kings. It was built by enslaved Africans, whose names history largely erased. One of the earliest voices to give racism a written language was the Portuguese chronicler Gomes Yanes de Zurara, who helped reframe African captivity as salvation, and in doing so, gave anti-black racism one of its earliest European justifications. To tell Portugal's story honestly, we cannot only speak of discovery, we must speak of the people who were taken. That is part of this story too, carved not in monuments, but in the absence of them. But Portugal's history was never only written in ships and chains. It was also carved into limestone, painted onto azulejo tiles, sung in fado, and rebuilt entirely from rubble. In 1755, a catastrophic earthquake and tsunami leveled Lisbon in minutes. The city that rose from its ruins was reimagined from the ground up. The elegant grid of the Baixa district, the grand Praça do Comércio opening onto the Tagus, all of it born not from ambition, but from catastrophe. To walk through Portugal today is to walk through layers of everything it has survived. Empire, faith, earthquake, dictatorship, revolution, and reinvention. Some chapters brought glory, others brought suffering. But history did not disappear. It stayed behind, in the streets, the castles, the churches, the music, and the scars of the cities themselves. Stand at the Belém Tower and look out at the same river Portugal's explorers sailed from 5 centuries ago. Walk through the Jerónimos monastery, its stonework so intricate, so impossibly detailed, it took a century to complete. Climb the narrow streets of Alfama, Lisbon's oldest neighborhood, the one the earthquake could not reach, and listen for fado drifting from somewhere behind a closed door. A voice singing about longing and loss in a way that needs no translation. Take a train to Sintra, where the palaces of Portuguese royalty cling to a forested ridge above the Atlantic. Fairy tale architecture built at the edge of the known world. Or follow the river north to Porto, its ancient Ribeira district, tumbling down to the Douro, port wine cellars lining the far bank, the city reflected in the water at golden hour. This is a country that has not forgotten what it was, but it has not stopped becoming what it is. Today, Portugal's past is not locked in a museum, it is everywhere. Portugal is not just a place to visit, it is a story to be read, in stone, in tile, in ocean, in music, and in memory. Its beauty was shaped by glory and grief, by discovery and domination, by survival and reinvention. Come see the views, but look deeper. Come read the story of Portugal. You've seen the story. Now go and explore it. Everything you need is in the description below.